So a shaky start to the season for us. I don't think we can really claim that it wasn't. We haven't looked particularly up for a lot of the matches, but still have managed to get a decent number of wins under our belt, and maybe a couple of little unlucky defeats in there as well, to leave us sort of slap bang in the middle of the table at this point, which I think gives us essentially the rest of the season almost free range to just sort of try a couple of little bits out, get some ideas going, and try to work out to make this work, because we know that there's a solid tactical base under here and an incredible side. It's just a question of unlocking that, and hopefully we're going to try and do that today. As always, if you have been enjoying the series, do be sure to smash a like on the video. That would be most fantastic. So, today, we get ourselves, in theory, what should be quite a winnable game away at Skövde. Now, the problem with them is they've actually started the season fairly well. 11 points on the board after 9 games. Their first ever season in the top flight is also incredibly impressive that they've managed to achieve this in such a short space of time. When you look at the other newly promoted sides, although actually, Brommapojken are not doing too badly either. So, to be fair, it's looking like an interesting season with both Kalmar and Elfsborg looking particularly poor down at the bottom. We, of course, are slap bang mid-table. And it is worth noting, though, that despite us being mid-table, we are far, far closer to the top echelons of this league than we are to the bottom. We're 7 points clear of 14th place in any kind of relegation damage, and if you were to take those 7 points on the other side, we'd be second. So we're very much closer to the European places than anything else. And I don't think it would take that much for us to just figure this out. And I have a couple of little ideas on perhaps why we're in the position that we're in, and it might just be pure coincidence as well. But nothing's truly coincidence. But before that, there were some suggestions about the reasons that the couple of clubs played no benches basically against us. And apparently it's because AI teams don't seem to understand the squad matchday rules very well sometimes, because it's not like squad registration, and I do wonder if the matchday rules is what's keeping them from doing that. But just to be sure, what I've done is basically set things up, and then I've restarted the game from scratch to see if that's going to hopefully mean that we don't end up in the situation where that just in case it was due to me resetting preferences. I don't know why that would be the case, but every precaution, right? We'll have a look. We'll be able to tell, I think, before we even load into the game. And also, I got a question in the comments about what the biggest jobs that we'd ever been personally offered in this save was, and this is going to shock you, to be fair, but we'll get into the tactics screen. I'll explain. Just going to do a selection of advice and sort this out, and we'll talk about this in a second. You might notice I switched the strikers back, more on that in a minute. Throughout this entire save, as far as I can remember, at no point have I been offered a job interview at any club side. At no point during this save, which to me is a bit concerning again as to why that is the case, because surely clubs will be wanting us. I don't think I've ever been offered a club job while we were actually in a job in this save, which is really kind of mad, honestly. And that's the reason I've never brought it up, because usually if we've been offered a big job, I'd tell you, but we just haven't been offered them. We have, however, been offered international jobs. I think the biggest one would probably have been Spain at one point. We were offered the Spanish job after one of the World Cups came down. So clearly we still have the reputation to get these huge international jobs, but just like large Scandinavian club sides have never really come in for us without us literally banging down the door. I've switched the strikers back over just because we've found consistently throughout this save that for some reason having the advanced forward on the left just seems to work better. For whatever reason, just seems to work better. Even without having this strong left wing back on that side for whatever reason. And I did see some suggestions in the comments about things we could do potentially with changing roles in this tactic. I'm very, 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 very reticent to do things like that, because I know that this tactic is good, because we've won 2 Europa Leagues and a Conference League with relatively unfancied sides, which suggests to me that it is more a question of getting this personnel to work. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it, because it isn't actually broken. I just think we need to find a way to make these players work, and I think I have a suggestion as to why that might be. With all of these new boys that we brought in, especially in our central midfield, I noticed that every single one of them was completely right-footed, like not even has a reasonable left foot or anything. They were all very strong right foot, very weak left foot. And I do wonder if perhaps that's causing a problem in unbalancing our midfield, no matter who of these sections we played. That applies to Kouassi, Undai, and Vaka, Muman. So I do wonder if having those three in there all the time, all on their favoured right foot, is potentially causing us some problems down this left-hand side, perhaps, especially when it comes to the defensive actions, maybe, or just with their choice of passing. And that would also explain to me why Tudor Jorge, when he does play, seems to have played better than them statistically this season. You'll notice Undai with a 7.0 on average, or like Tudor Jorge, obviously, his average is a little bit lower, but he does seem to have put in some better performances and seems to have scored. And I think the reason for that is because Tudor Jorge possesses a left foot. And I do wonder if having him in that midfield alongside one of the others at any one time could maybe give us a slight advantage, which is one of the things I'm going to try out in today's game today. Unfortunately, Hawkinson's going to be missing for today's game as he's picked up a slight injury, which is unfortunate. This is a game we have to be coming here and winning, for sure. I'm not really convinced by either goalkeeper right now, but I'm going to go with Denair for today because I do seem to trust him just that little bit more at the moment, plus the homegrown nature allows us a little bit more freedom on the bench. Vaka's not quite fresh enough really to start this game. I'd rather have him on the bench if we can. And with all in mind, I'm going to bring back in Silvio Aquino. But as for the striking setup, I'm going to start Castilla and I'm going to start Cisse. That will allow us Lindstrom off the bench because he does seem to function just slightly better in that position. Today will be very much a day of experimentation, and I can't wait to find out whether this works or whether it doesn't. However, let's just check the opposition screen now. There's no bench. Again, yeah, this doesn't normally show the bench, does it? Nope, you can see the substitutes bench. Look, they've not got a substitute. I bet you that's another goalkeeper. That's absolutely... Look, see, it's just another one substitute bench. I don't understand. Let me guess goalkeeper. I don't get it. Yeah, you lot weren't kidding. This is their squad. They literally only have 8 players who are homegrown in their entire squad. That would actually explain it. It just seems extremely dumb that they literally only have 8 players who are counted as homegrown, which means presumably that's why they can't field a bench, because they have to put a 9th player on there. And it's like they're refusing to dip into their youth teams the way that I would do if I was in that situation. But that's why it looks way more weird than it should do, because if they had a 9th player available that was homegrown, then they could field an entire bench of non-homegrown people. But because they've only got 8 players that are homegrown, they can't field anybody on their bench. That actually is why it makes it look worse than it is. But it's weird that so many of them would not have enough homegrown players. It's like I'm in charge of all their clubs. Okay, Kouassi from a distance here. He's going to go for it anyway. Oh, what an effort that is. Trifunovic will keep this in play, though. He's going to be in a tough angle here. Come on, just win the penalty or something. Oh, he's been bundled over, and somehow that's not a pen. Can work this way in the back route, and it's nice football, and it's dropped through, and I think Cisse is going to be off. He's not offside. It's Skövde 0, Örebro 1, and Cisse scores his 7th goal of the season, which is not bad when you think about it, but I think he did get a hat-trick in the cup, didn't he? Going down the left. I want to be keeping a special eye on the fullbacks as well. Ball across to De Jorge, pulls it back, and Kouassi's shot is well blocked there, but lovely work from De Jorge. Biera down the right-hand side. Oh, bit of space now emerging here. Ball across. Wonderful defending. I think that was from Jusic. Pops it over the top for Castilla. He probably won't catch that. Oh, yes, he will. Castilla, lovely work. Great first touch. Garcia, Kouassi blocked. Garcia on the ball again, though. Finds Kouassi. Ndai, we just can't turn around. Ndai now with the block shot. Kouassi delivers it. Jusic, and it's in. It's 2-0. Samir Jusic with a lovely header from a corner. We take a 2nd goal advantage by half-time here. I know these guys are newly promoted, but they've clearly shown something this season, so to be 2-0 up, very impressive. I'd say we're a little bit fortunate in that. What I'd also say is that their second shot is worth, I would say, probably 0.8 of that XG. They were so close to the goal, and it was an unbelievable block from, I believe, Jusic, or it might have been Emmanuel John. So looking at half-time here, obviously Kouassi got the assist for the corner, so he was decent there. To De Jorge, though, sitting on a comfortable 6.8. He's looked good on the ball, comfortable. The team looks solid, okay. Silvio Aquino still on a 6.6, but he was up as far as a 6.8 at one point. He still seemed to be stable. We'll see how he does in the second half. He definitely looks better. I love how within 15 seconds of the second half, the game has decided that Aquino is now worth 6.5. All that has happened in those 15 seconds was a ball was played into the midfield, and then a ball was played out wide, which he didn't collect because the ball was horribly misplaced, and somehow that's his fault. Okay, weird. Jorge. Oh, lovely ball inside. Kouassi, what a finish that is. 3-0 to Örebro. Assist for Tudor Jorge this time. Kouassi completes a really strong performance. And for us, 3-0 will be our best win of the season. And away from home, too. There's a bit of a space there. Thrasterson's in. We're going to need some work from Denair here to keep that clean sheet intact. And he does. Brilliant. Well, with just a few seconds to go here, it's looking pretty straightforward as being Skövde 0, Örebro 3. Our best win of the season. And away from home as well, where we have actually looked pretty good. Still, I think performance-wise, it was a lot closer than that, really. I mean, they had that one big chance, as you can see, that accounts for almost their entire XG. Well, not almost, but a decent amount of it. But we were able to take our chances with Cisse, Jusic, and then Kouassi grabbing us the goals. Still didn't look anywhere near as emphatic as I would have maybe liked. I also switched up to bring Erlendsson on, and he did a very good job in that role in the second half. Jorge looked excellent in this game too, alongside Kouassi. I think it's definitely a step in the right direction for us, and I just think having a left-footed, or at least capable left-footer in that midfield for us as well, I think just balances us out quite nicely. So that's something we're definitely going to look for as well. And we can rotate through the other 3. But the key thing is that does move us up to 6th spot. And we're also only 1 point off of 3rd now. So we're very much back into that battle for European places. And I don't think there's really much to worry about at this point. We continue to move our way towards safety. Sirius having a great season as well. Watch this be the year that they finally win the league. Typical. But needless to say, we're right in there. I'm okay with that. BK Häcken having a great start to the season too. I think they might fall away. We're right where we kind of want to be. As long as we're in that sort of top 5 or top 6 come the end of the season, I'd be very, very happy indeed. And if we could just find that left-footed centre mid, I'd be very, very happy. So there's this chap here, Baba Fofana, who is a left-footer. That's all I know about him. That's from a while ago. But I do wonder, if he's cheap enough, would he be worth a punt? Because just to give us and he's left-footed and right-footed. £94,000. Much like with the other guys we found in that sort of ilk, I know we can see very little of his attributes, but I feel like if he's as good as even some of those things look, if the rest of him is as good as some of those things look, he could still be worth a punt on £94,000 just to bring one more guy in like that. And I know that's a lot of non-foreign players, but let's be honest with you. It can't be worse than some of the other sides in their situations. I've also put a 50k bid down on this guy, Olivier Meleke, from Jekanu, because I think he's solid for that and for 50k, and he's 18. So this is important. I'm trying to go after some of the younger ones as well so that we can actually get them to be homegrown in the future. There's him and another guy, I think he's Moroccan, that I'm kind of interested in him. So yeah, we're putting one on him. It's worth noting, as we go into this game against AIK, they are fielding a correct and full bench. Oh, it's a good ball through for Victorson. Denair's going to have to stand up tall here, and he doesn't. It is 1-0 to AIK. That is not a good start to the game for us here, unfortunately. I put Erlendsson at left wing back today. Yeah, I think we can count ourselves a little bit unfortunate. Again, we were quite all right in that game away at AIK. Played pretty solidly here. Definitely should have scored a goal in this game. Lindstrom went through right in like the 89th minute and should have slotted it home, but he just couldn't do it. Of course, that now drops us back down to 7th place in the league again, as we just sort of sit as a mid-table, hovering on the edge of those European spots type of side at the moment. That seems to be our place in the league currently, as Djurgården smashed 7 past Helsingborg. Why can't we do that, eh? Just got to keep our heads down, really. Got to get to the summer. That's really when the fixture congestion calms down. I think that's really going to help us. Worth note from this game, Malmo not fielding a proper bench either. It does seem to just be a weird glitch because of the league rules and AI teams not knowing how to handle it. That's really dumb. Back inside here for Castilla. There's a run being made here. Or again, with loads of bodies to aim for this time, he has to find somebody, surely. Pops it in. Lindstrom's there, and it is 1-0. Örebro 1, Malmo 0. We've been brilliant to start this game, and Victor Lindstrom starts the match, scores again. Wow, what a signing he's turned out to be. He just seems to play well. Castilla with runners, left and right. One of those runners is Kouassi. He's not going to catch that, though. Oh, yes, he is! The defenders and the keeper have made a huge mistake, and Sekou Kouassi slides through, and it's Örebro 2, Malmo 0. Easily our best performance of the season so far. This midfield is looking much better, but Aquino's still struggling. Oh, it's deflected, and it's just... Wow. I don't know what's going on there, but it doesn't matter because it's another goal for Victor Lindstrom. It's Örebro 3, Malmo 0. We can do it against the best sides in this league. We know it. Oh, Naziri's in. Oh, dear. Oh, shocking goalkeeper from Denair. And, well, having missed a penalty at the other end, we've now conceded one, and that's a very unfortunate goal to concede, really. Just bad. Well, in the end, I mean, easily our best output attacking-wise in terms of creation all season. Just really, really played Malmo off the park here. Very unlucky to concede the goal that we did, honestly. The goalkeeper just made a huge error. But you can really see, and I kept Aquino on for the whole game in this one, everyone was playing fantastically. These guys were subs. Salaku and Longo were both substitutions in this game. But Aquino somehow still on a 6.3. I want to look at his statistics to figure out why that is, because that is unacceptable in a team that's playing so well that he is still so bad. It does feel like now we're able to carry him, but imagine if we didn't have to. As for the league, though, we do move back up into 6th spot, 19 points on the board. We're still only 4 points off a 3rd place Hammarby, and only, what, 5 points or... yeah, 4 or 5 points behind Göteborg as well. So we're still looking right in there. Only 1 point behind defending champions Djurgården. So it doesn't look too bad for us, honestly, at this point. We're right where I want to be. I just feel like we should have maybe more points by now. Everyone's kind of had a bit of a poor start, apart from EK Sirius. Okay, so what we can see as a comparison between Charlton Order in the last game and Silvio Aquino. I like using games where we've played well because it's a game where we've played well and he hasn't. And that's usually an opportunity to figure out why that is the case. And you can see in today's game that clearly... well, he was less effective in the tackle, although that is certainly a factor. Like, he's not winning as many tackles as Charlton Order, even though they actually have the same tackling number. We'll have a look at his overall stats for the season in a second. I just want to have a look at this as well. Committed less fouls, which is what I would say, but also made no interceptions and no clearances. And I wonder if that's because of the speed element, in that Aquino has 11 acceleration especially, and Order has 15. I wonder if it's just not enabling him to nip in there. He's been worse in the air. Passing's roughly the same. I think the biggest element to me as to why he's failing in that sense is that he's attempting half the number of crosses, and he's succeeding in even less than half of those crosses, of the ones he is taking. So it means that Charlotte Order is just getting better balls in better positions. He doesn't take set pieces either, so it's clearly open play crosses as well. So that to me is a really a big sign. Other thing is we could just see how he relates to other players. Sorry, I realise it's a little bit more of a deep dive than normal, but I thought it was it's a learning moment for us. So if we look at our wingbacks in the squad and their sort of output so far this season, you can see that tackles won ratio, overall, Order 94% over 6 appearances. Garcia obviously plays on the right-hand side as well. Not bad. You can see that the left-hand side definitely does appear to be slightly lower, but Stenson still has outperformed Aquino in that role. You'll also note here that Aquino is intercepting a quarter of the number of chances as everybody else. Garcia is very good at interceptions, but some of that could have been from playing as a wide centre-back. But you'll know from the players that specifically play out wide that his interceptions ratio is very, very low and has a mistake leading to a goal. Generally speaking, wins less tackles per 90 as well, and is less effective in the air. His cross completion is actually 21% by standard, so it's not too bad, and it's actually slightly higher, in fact, than Bjarne Stensland's is. But it's nowhere near as high as the right-hand side. Neither is his key passes or chance creation or anything like that, or dribbling is about the same, actually. What I might try with him is a version where he's a supporting wing-back instead. It's personalised instructions to him only. It's just an idea. Mitkovsky, and it's in off the post. Andreas Zingmark. We've had 2 golden chances in the first 5 minutes, and now we trail here off of a set piece. That's unfortunate, but I think we've got this game if we keep pushing. Could he just go for a whip ball? No, goes short for Kouassi's back inside, pops it across, and it's Castilla. There we go. Francisco Castilla gets the equaliser. That's been coming, and I would say Aquino's actually been really solid in the first 20 minutes, albeit first 20 minutes, but still, 1-1. Castilla again. Jorge Lindstrom, he's got Aquino on the overlap. Slips it through. It's a lovely ball from Aquino, and it's a great save. But on the rebound, perhaps? Oh, no, what a chance. First half has been spectacular from us so far. We've genuinely been on top of them by miles. And it's another ball through. It's Kouassi. Surely this time, and it is 2-1 to Örebro. This has been a hell of a first half performance. Aquino's played some lovely passes so far, and I'm really enjoying this. It's 2-1, and we're playing fantastically. Much more like it from us, honestly. Much more like it. Way better for the most part. Obviously, we don't get the benefit of the clean sheet to help bump the ratings, but what I would say is you can see Aquino, 6.8 today. He was up to a 7 at one point. He played some really good passes. He looked way more comfortable, sitting slightly more withdrawn in that supporting role. He still played some lovely balls in behind, but the thing is, I think there was no pressure for him to dribble with the ball and try to pop to get crosses from the byline. Instead, he was picking it up and popping it in behind with through balls, and I think that suits his style of play way more, and it also helped us move up to 5th in the league right now. 22 points on the ball. We actually got above the reigning champion, Djurgården, and I think we're sitting pretty at the moment and looking fairly comfortable. We just need to start winning by a bit more. Obviously, those were winnable matches that we've had lately, and we just have to keep going. We've got Västerås at home next. We win that, and it does start to look a lot better. To Vaca. Back from his little injury break, or whipping another ball in, and Lindström's already there, and we already lead. 7 minutes gone. Örebro 1, Västerås 0. Lovely ball in again. Lindström on the end of it, and once again we take the lead. This could be 4 wins in 5 if we win this one. Ball whipped across. Oh, it's not a penalty. That's such a dumb foul. Well, it's Daner versus Koutsaidis, and it's an easy one, but it's such a stupid foul to get away when we were in total control and just doing a decent job, and then we just throw it away. Senpai, oh god, that's a goal, isn't it? Yep. And this all came off of yet another horrendous pass. We've kind of avoided that in the last few games, but today it's suddenly been one of those ones where every pass is just straight to our opposition for no reason when there's about 4 options on. Bizarre. I don't know what to tell you. Oh, I love how it counted their huge chance at the end and gave them an extra, which was offside, but it's counted it anyway for the statistics. I mean, this is the thing. We had some stupidly good chances in the second half of this game, which we failed to take. But it was just every pass was misplaced. Just constantly. Just like it was earlier this season. We just seem to have these games. And that, of course, sees us drop back down to 7th in the league again. It's just... I think this is just going to be one of those topsy-turvy seasons where we just kind of stabilize more than anything. Okay, so I just found this guy, Alexandru Dudau. I've been looking at him for a little while, but now it's sort of come to fruition. For me, I think he's the type of player that we actually do need in that left wing-back spot because... Obviously, you can't see it there, but if we just assume wing-back here, he's reasonably quick. Like good acceleration, solid pace, shot on order levels of pace, solid mentals in certain areas, great stamina, which is helpful. 6'1" as well, which is kind of surprising. Good in the air. Crossing looks like it could be solid. Dribbling would be good as well. Technique is good. Work rate is solid as well. His defensive attributes are okay, but he's only 18. Time to learn that sort of stuff. I think he would be more like what we need in that role. And I think that could be what we need. So I've put a bid in. It's £550,000, which is not bad, honestly. I think he's a really solid option for us, and I think he might be the kind of guy that we actually need in this role. This is what I've been waiting for. And I think we can sell on Aquino if we can for huge money. That would be a great deal for us. I think we can still make 10 million off of him, genuinely. This is massive, because when I put this bid in, it said that PSG were interested in this guy. And I know they were interested in Aquino too, but I feel like Dudau is actually the guy for us. He is going to earn quite a lot of money, but he has a £25 million release clause. And that was what they demanded in the contract. But the fact is, 25 million is pretty bloody high. If just getting him over the line before the other teams have a chance to bid, I think he's the answer to all of our prayers. I'm going to try and move Aquino on in this window if I can do to recoup our losses. Not that there was a lot of them anyway. Oh yeah, youth intake preview. Come on. Goalkeeper, centre mid, wing backs. There's a wing. Oh, imagine if we got another Kuralainen type player in a youth intake. That would be glorious to actually get a wing back. It says wing backs. There is a wing back who is rated very highly. If he's a left wing back, I'm going to be in dreamland. Come on. But yeah, the Dudau transfer is going to be huge for us because he'll come in along with the other lads that we're bringing in. We're in the middle of that summer break at the moment because of international tournaments, so we're off for a month currently, just kind of chilling. But just getting that transfer done makes me feel so much more confident. Just as well we did sign him as well, actually, because our other left back has just broken his leg. Oh, I'm not laughing, Blaze. I am, but only because of just the timing of that. To the specialist with you, Kouassi. To Ndai. Castillo's got to run through the middle straight away. It's Lindström. Could he get us off to the perfect start here? Yes, he can. 50 seconds in. Victor Lindström gives us the lead. Away at BK Häcken, who are second in the division as things stand at the moment. What a turnaround it's been for them in the last few years. Just missing people. Ball throw. Lindström again. And I think that is going to be onside for 2-0 to Örebro. And Lindström has grabbed another goal today. He has just been such a useful player this season. Pettersson on the ball again. Same route through, basically. Ndai. Loads of runners. It's 2 Jorge, and it's 3. We are carving through BK Häcken in the second half. 2 Jorge scores again. Another assist for Arona and Ndai. And it's a really good away win. Go on, get that toe in on him. Ah, nearly. Beckstrom. Oh, please don't concede another one. Come on, lads. Just keep a clean sheet for once. I beg of you. Just one clean sheet is all I ask. 3-1 victory away at BK Heck, and obviously the red card definitely helped us and we adjusted accordingly. But again, Aquino actually had an okay game today, 6.9, including us conceding a goal in there too. So I definitely think when he is on the support role, he definitely does improve. But the problem is he just offers us nothing really other than a bit of stability. And we do need that extra impetus to really go ahead and attack games. And when you consider that we're actually only 1 point behind 4th place Hammarby, we're very much in contention still for the European places. Speaking of bad form, Jules Gordon, down in 9th place. The reigning champions are 12 points off the top and surely are not going to win the title again this year. They've clearly been under some trouble for some time and it's finally come to a head this season. They're still probably going to end up making Europe, I suspect, at the end of the year, but they're probably going to lose a manager somewhere along the way here because they are having a dreadful time of it. Warnes to deliver for Jules Gordon. That's a great goal. I mean, just the moment that left his foot, there was nobody marking Maloko, and after all our bluster, we now go behind against Jules Gordon. They've been quite good. I expected they would be. Get a chance to redeem ourselves here potentially. Garcia, Martin, so many runners. One of them is Arona and Dai. Can he put this across the goalkeeper? And he does. First goal for the club for Arona and Dai. Oh, come on. How is that offside? He's not offside. That is nonsense. That guy's head is leaning about 3 feet further forward. And we go down 1-0. Set piece goal. It's always the case though, really. When you come up against a side who's really, really good but are in terrible form, they still play like the really good side when you face them, unfortunately. And today, they didn't play that well, but they did still get the win. Unfortunate. I'm still bitter, honestly, about that offside goal, which to me wasn't offside. But BK Häcken incredibly now just go and hammer AIK 6-0. We unfortunately slip all the way down to 8th place again, but it's still very, very tight in the mid-pack there. I think 5th place is very much on the cards if we just get the right run together, and hopefully the guys who are about to join us will help us in doing so. Okay, so Fofana's in. Yeah, I mean, I think he's fine. He does boost us in the midfield a little bit. The value is a bit bizarre, though. I think that's way too low for what he is in this team. Maybe he just lacks the physicals a little bit, honestly. But he does give us a bit of boost, and he's got a left foot, which is just kind of useful to have around the club. Particularly as we've just had a spate of injuries, so we're going to need some of these guys in. Olivier Meleke, actually quite like him as a young player. Really good mentals, okay technical ability. Passing's not fantastic, but still, at 18, I think he's a good piece of business. But he is my excitement factory. Alexandru Dudal. I know I was reacting a little bit like this when we signed Aquino. However, my man here has 10 crossing. He's faster. I just think that this is the answer to our prayers. Alexander Dudal, I think, is going to be the guy for this club. Look at the value on him. We've just snuck him out of nowhere. I'm hoping he is going to be a game changer for our season, honestly. There's a lot of pressure to put on a young man, but I think he can just deliver a lot more than Cisse can. Cisse? Than Aquino can. Dosti. The two new boys are out. Oh, God. On his debut, the new youngster concedes a shocking penalty for no reason. Fowry from the spot to give Sirius the lead here, and he skies it straight into the roof of the net. And after a promising start, we now losing Lindstrom. Got runners beyond. One of them is Einarsson. He's actually all the way through. So it's the through for Juan Martin, and it's in off the post. First goal of the season for the American, and we find the equaliser, and we do look quite good today in spite of conceding this stupid penalty. And Duda has recovered. 1-1. Morera. Oh, cut out by Einarsson. Lovely ball through for Lindstrom. He's going to struggle to get the shot away from here, I think, but he's going to go for it. Oh, he scored! Victor Lindstrom. That is a beautifully, well, crap finish, honestly, that's just completely caught the keeper out, and it's a Rebru 2, AIK Sirius 1. Kwasi again. That same ball could continually be on now, I suspect. Lovely ball into the path of Dudal now. How? What's he got for a delivery for us? Drops it back inside for Georges. Flips it up. Back for Dudal. Fires it in. Cisse. Great work. Kwasi and Martin on the rebound, and it's a Rebru 3. AIK Sirius 1. That is glorious from Juan Martin, and it was a lovely run down the left from Dudal, and we lead the league leaders 3-1. Make no mistake, that was far from fabulous from us, and we obviously had to dig deep against one of the best sides in the league, but to win against them 3-1, coming from behind after conceding a penalty, and this should tell you everything you need to know about how Dudal settles into this team. He got a 7.1 in today's game. No assists, no goals, but he did definitely do better. And remember, he conceded the penalty as well, so he had to fight back from that to get a much better rating in a game which we conceded a goal. It does show you the difference of just having someone who suits the style of play, and I think he really, really does. I saw so much more from him in this than I have seen out of Aquino all season, practically, and against a really good side. Think what he could do against someone who's not good. I just want to see what his stats look like after this. Yeah, I mean, look at the difference here in terms of the tackling output, interceptions, clearances. Dudal was winning balls in the air. 84% error winners. He got a key header too. His passing was 92%, 7 crosses, and a 42% cross completion ratio from Dudal. Even had 3 successful dribbles in that game. It's just incredible what just finding the right guy for the job can do. Before anyone gets any ideas, I'd like to quickly provide an alibi. I was at a bar with some of the coaching staff when this happened, so I promise you, I didn't go around with a bat. So Aquino's broken his foot. And it's going to be out for 3 to 4 months. So it's just as well Dudal's here, really, because we'd be in big trouble otherwise. Good luck being able to sell Aquino during this window, I suspect. I think that's probably, ship has probably sailed. But I think we can still get 10 million for him in the winter window to someone who doesn't realise what they're buying. Honestly, I think I'm selling him down the river. If he was just playing as a left back in a standard system, I think he'd actually do quite well. Just not for us, but to the specialist with you, for Fana. Oh, and Die, just shoot this, and he has, and it's 1-0 already. Hammarby 0, Orebro, he's offside. This man will never get his first goal. Never. They're always offside. What? They've given him offside, even though he in no way is interfering with the play. That is insane. Have they got something against Arona and Die scoring his first goal for us? Oh, Pap coming through. He slips it round the side. It's a great finish from Alnar Tallow. And after all that, it's 1-0 to Hammarby. After all our bluster in the first 20 minutes. And yeah, now it's 1-0 to them. Hawkinson pops one long. Martin should win that. What? How is he missing that header? He's 6'6". And now we're going to concede from it. Yeah, I cannot believe that. Akruno, ball through for Talash again. Surely not. What on earth? This has been a completely even game and we're 3-0 down. Mental. Zhang Zhao, 4-0 to Hammarby. It literally, it should be like 1-1 here. This is insane. In the end, we lost 4-0. Like, obviously, up until the penalty, really, dead even match. Chances for both sides. Dudal was solid again. I mean, the fact that he's got a 6.8 again, we lost 4-0, shows that there's a hell of a lot of improvements in this side. This one doesn't bother, I mean, it bothers me because it's just annoying, but it doesn't bother me in the same, weirdly, this one bothers me less than winning earlier this season when we didn't play well. And to be fair, both games against Hammarby this season have been exactly like this, where we've been equally as good as them and lost by like an insane amount. But then the serious games are kind of the opposite of that. I'd much rather see the progress, and I think this team is much more set to go tackle the end of the season. It's just things like this just happen sometimes. Just horrendousness. And again, the disallowed goal was just mad. I still feel like we're on the right track, honestly. I think we've got the right squad adapted now, and I think it's actually just a question of biding it in now. I like Dudal. I think he's the answer to the prayers. It's just, we're going to have games like this. We played really well. Well, decent enough in the last game and decent enough today. We need to go out and beat Kalmar in the next one. And due to there being so much stuff in this episode, I don't think we're able to fit a proper live comment at the end of it. So we're going to go ahead and do the Kalmar game in the same sort of style that we're doing this one and sort of reconvene, because I'm almost 4 hours deep into this because I was going to do more than I expected today. But there's been so much stuff with the in-depth things that I just don't think there's time for a second full-on live com. But we're still going to crack on with Kalmar and see what we can come up with. So I want to unlock them a little bit. There we go. Good ball. Bodies in the box arriving as well. And it's off the defender and it's in. It's unfortunate for the defender. Aura with the great cross, but it's in off Søren Hansen, and it's 1-0 to Örebro. We'll take that. It's actually been a poor start from Dudal, of all people. Picks it up. Nice little drop-off pass. Nice. Lindstrom's into the box. Back for Dudal. Back inside again. Lovely football. And it's in. It's Victor Lindstrom. 12th goal of the season for him. We're 2 goals up here, and deservedly so. This is more like it from us. Now that we're getting a chance to show it off a little bit. Nice little one-touch stuff. Lindstrom! Oh, Victor Lindstrom truly is a machine. 13th goal of the season for him. 3-0 up this time. We're not going to make the same mistakes we made against the same team earlier this season. Ball whips in. England will surely score, and he does, and it's completely predictable there. Thank God we got the 3rd goal this time around. I can easily see this finishing 3-2. And Die again. There's the run. It's Lindstrom again, and he's scored. It's a hat-trick, I think, for Victor Lindstrom. 4-1 to Örebro. And Lindstrom he's just so very, very good. To order around the cipher and Die now. Can he finally score his first goal for us? Yes, he can. It's 5-1 and wait, why is that saying his 2nd goal? He definitely hasn't scored another goal for us. I'm certain of that because they keep getting disallowed. It's 5-1 to Örebro. Yes, other than this enormous chance here, which I really don't know what that was and why we didn't get a chance to see it, honestly. That feels almost like a glitch, but needless to say, still a huge win for us. Comfortable performance. Lindstrom with the hat-trick. One, obviously, the own goal there too. One for Die. That's a bit more like it. Dudal was still solid in this game. Had a little mistake for I think for the goal, which definitely didn't help him there, but still, I think this is a bit more like it from us now. I think the last few matches we've showed a little bit more. Even against Hammarby losing 4-0, we look better. I'm feeling more of the team again. It definitely feels more like we've got a blueprint with which to move forward now, as it feels like the top 8 have kind of separated themselves from everybody else, and I think we're still massively in this. I just need the right little run of fixtures to come along, to be honest, and I'm pretty pleased with how we've actually behaved in the last few games. I think Dudal, as much as he wasn't amazing in that game, still got a 6.9, but he's definitely looked a lot better in other matches, and I think he'll be much more consistent for us for the rest of the season. I think it will just help the whole team play better, even if it is just a bit of a transitional year as we sort of stabilise, get that mid-table, but I still think there is an outside shot if we go on a good run in the next 11 games that Europe is very much on the cards. Everyone else is so inconsistent. There's only really 2 teams that are actually looking even vaguely good, and that's Sirius and Göteborg, to be fair. So Anybody else, I think, is completely up for grabs if we can get ourselves right, and I think we're definitely on the right track to that. I think Martin is the right man for the job in this team, and I think Lindstrom is as well. The rest of the team is just kind of figuring itself out at the moment, but I do think we need to strengthen the defence next, because I think those actual centre-backs in places do look a bit sussy, and I think we can definitely improve that part of the team as the next step towards progression, but we're definitely getting there. It's been a long one. I realise there's been lots of analysis and stuff to do, but I felt like it was important for us to try and figure out the problems, and I think we've pretty much solved, I don't know about solved them, but we've definitely sussed out what was going on and why, and I think Dudau definitely makes us better, and needless to say, I think he's a great signing, even if it wasn't a perfect fit for what we wanted to do. He's still fantastic. So, if you have enjoyed this episode, and I hope you have, drop a like. That'd be sick. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. That'd be gorgeous too. I stream on Twitch on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. You know the drill. And I'll see you guys very, very soon as we continue our plugging into the season and hopefully can finally pull ourselves towards those European positions. Hold your gun. Capybara. Bye-bye.